right. We hit it.
We hit it. Now, my tan story, out the window.
Yeah.
Gone. Can't use that no more. It's over.
Yeah, this is an interdimensional thing right now. Yeah.
Crazy,
No
crazy
longer
universe.
just Rob with the
Yeah.
tan. Oh, so we got a lot of stuff going on today, guys.
What we got?
We're going to have, well, you want to run it down?
All right, let's do it. Let's go. Of course, we got SNSD Andy Young coming through, and then we got Jake Frugier. He's coming through. I mean, I just went over 400,000 SVP now. And then we got Keystone. We got the rally. RVP plus 2. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a great
one.
one.
Yeah.
Special RVP plus 2 for y'all. And we've got the social media, right? So if you want to stay plugged in, figure out who's going to be on next week, understand the rally, find out about the next big event, you can, well, oh, that's not the card I was looking for, but I'll do this one anyway. If you want to show up on our social wall, you can use the hashtag SNSD Factory on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also use the mention on Facebook. It's different with Facebook for some reason. Even though you can put in the hashtag, it doesn't work that way. I don't know. Something about Russian hackers. At Let's Get Bigger Go Home is how you show up. And as long as those posts are public, you're going to show up on our social wall, which you can see at getbiggergohome.com/social feed. It's right there at the top. You can see where the social feed is. And if you send us an email or YouTube comments, we love to see them, but they're not going to show up there. But if you got any promotions, and if you're old school, you don't got social media, you can send a text message to that number you saw there. But that is how you get on the social wall.
Boom. That's all right, Trish. We're good. We're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to kick off the rally. So we got this graphic coming up, but what we'll do with the promotions, you can send them in, right?
Yeah, the promotion. So right now we don't have the ability to check the promotions because Darla's out, the internet's out. We're juggling a bunch of balls right now. In the
Russian hackers.
Yeah. Russian hackers.
We're juggling what now? Do that motion one more time. I just missed that.
Anyway, so yeah, if you go to getbiggerhome.com and go to the downloads tab, there's a promotions form there. Make sure you select what you're sending the promotions for, because you can send in promotions for Keystone as well. But right now, yeah, if you want to have any promotions for this week, we won't have time to pull them and announce them this week, but we'll get to them next week. So feel free to go in and recognize your teammates for getting their promotions, and we'll cover them all next week.
That's right. So we're kicking off round 1 of the rally. So RVPs only, what you're going to do, you're going to send in, your last name, how much people you got, to this number, which is going to be 404-465-1830. So no teammates, just RVP is going to send it in with the number of how much people you got on.
Yep. Tell us who you are. Tell us how many people you got. And if you got an update on your people, just send us another text.
And even if you're by yourself.
Even if you're by yourself, yeah, just an RVP, team of 1. Send something in, start tracking this, figure out how the ways you can grow this, because this is how you track your growth, is attendance and recruiting.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Now, last week's winner, we had Belda Rubio.
Belda.
6-time winner now.
6-time champ. A 6-time champion. A 6 Peter.
Yep.
A 6 repetition.
I don't know. She's in. What is
what's the 6 side? It's what are you talking
about?
We take geometry?
Hexagon.
Hexagon is a 6er? Okay. She's a hexagonal winner, people. In a row. I think it's the first time we had a
and a Hawaiian winner right now.
Oh, that's true.
She's in Hawaii.
Boom. I have this joke. I can't say it on TV, but my upline told it to me, but I'll keep it to myself.
All right, so here's the number one more time. RVPs only, right? 404-465-1830. Save it in your phone. Save it in your teammates' phones. But for right now, if we only want to hear from the RVPs, it's round 1 of the rally. Tell us who you are. Tell us how many people we got watching. Now, got a special, not so special guest, but in a special location. We got Darla Gore live from the boat.
Hi, Darla.
Hey, you guys. Nice to see everybody. So I wanted to just talk real quick about Keystone, right? So you all know what the first thing I'm going to say is drink more water, right? So if you haven't been drinking, please start doing that right now.
Drinking
Twice
what?
What'd you say?
Yeah. Drink what?
Drink water, please.
Oh.
Don't drink alcohol. It will not work for you. So drink lots and lots of water. So anticipating that you can drink alcohol when you get there. We've established the registration times for Thursday. We're going to be open from 12 to 5. It'll be a drive-through registration at the Keystone Conference Center. You guys are used to being there. Be a ton of fun. Got some great entertainment coming and lots of just a really good time waiting for you all. Make sure that you have sent us your email address if you are attending Keystone. Please be sure we have it. That's how we're going to communicate with everybody. That'll be the only way we will communicate with you. So make sure you send us an email address that you actually look at. It'll be much better and a lot more fun that way for you guys.
So hold on. How do I get a hold of y'all?
If you would send me an email, that would be awesome.
But even when we're there?
Yes, ticketsatnightglass.com, our favorite email.
Okay, so all on-site communication is going to be done by email only.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Now,
you can
question.
text us, but we might not be able to answer. So email is your friend.
But you will have tickets on site, though. I just want to clarify that.
Still no, we will not have tickets on site. Do not come to Keystone expecting to get a ticket. In fact, don't come to Keystone unless we know you're coming to Keystone. So if you have not told us in an email, then you need to do that at ticketsatnightglass.com so that we know you are arriving. It's super important this year that we do that step. No Wes, no tickets on site.
Okay.
All right. All right. So remember, dress warmly. Part of our program will be outside. Be prepared. If you're not used to the cold, you don't know what to wear, feel free to call me. I grew up in Michigan. I can tell you all about it. So lots of layers and
Well, maybe
some good
email, don't
boots.
call.
Don't show up in your tennis shoes. What'd you say?
Email, don't call.
Yeah, well, true. Please email. Please do not call. All right, you guys, this is going to be one of our best, most memorable, record-breaking Keystones ever. Be prepared for something totally different. It's going to be awesome, even better than before, and great opportunities are going to be to build some great team momentum going into 2021. Did I say drink water? I can't overemphasize the importance of the water. Again, no tickets will be on sale. Amy created a Facebook page for us for those who are not able to come and those who would like to come, and no more tickets. You guys can do your buy-sell thing out there. That Facebook page is at Get Bigger Go Home. It's our personal home Facebook page, but they are going to, that event will close 1 week from today. So after that, you won't be able to do any buy or sell of any tickets. If you do buy or sell tickets, you have to email ticketsatnightglass.com and tell us who has which tickets. All right, we're going to start sending just in a few days private emails to those who are on the Keystone list, letting you know what's coming up, how we're going to be doing things, invite you and teach you how to play the games that we have in place. And hey, Rob, do you want to run through the qualifications for VIP and MVP one more time?
Sure. All right. So these are through the month end of October. Through the month end of October. If you wanted to be VIP and you're below RVP, you had to get at least 175 recruits in those 10 months. And then if you're an RVP, you had to do over 250 recruits in those 10 months. So, I mean, this is a whole nother level beyond double-digit recruiting. This is where the big boys play.
Yeah. Yep. All right, you guys, I want to thank you so much for having me on. Let me talk about Keystone. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. I love the open. You guys are hysterical. Have a great night.
All right, Darla. You're the best.
So we've got a short little video, right?
From the man himself,
The man.
the founder of the company. Let's bring up Mr. Art Williams.
See, I believe the single most important thing you develop in your lifetime is a positive attitude. The glass has always got to be half full. You got to look for the good in all situations. You got to expect your people to be positive. You can't ever let your meetings turn into a gripe session. See, folks, I believe you can overcome every problem in business. You can overcome financial problems. You can overcome personal problems. You can overcome health problems, business problems, sales problems, recruiting problems, and still be all you want to be in business. But you can't ever overcome an attitude problem. The moment you give up on you, you're dead as a doornail. You've got to develop a positive, enthusiastic outlook on life. Negative people just wear you out. They just drain your dadgum batteries. Hey, people in America won't follow dead, dull, disillusioned, frustrated dadgum crybabies. If you want to win in this country, you got to be positive. You got to be excited. You got to be aggressive. You got to be tough. The greatest definition I ever heard, I thought about this 10 million times when I wanted to quit along the way of a winner. This guy said almost everybody in America can stay excited for 2 or 3 months. A few people can stay excited for 2 or 3 years. But a winner will stay excited for 30 years or ever how long it takes to win. You got to always be positive. You got to always be positive. See, positive people, folks, are just like a dadgum magnet. People are just drawn to you, right? Because there's so few of them out there. You know, when you're talking to your people, folks, don't ever be negative with it. You can tell your people 100 wonderful things about them in one negative thing. And you know what they remember? That one negative thing, right? Always be positive. Every human being, every piece of flesh on this planet is a worrier. They fear. The most powerful people in the world are positive for just minutes at a time, or days at a time, or hours at a time. Folks, you won't meet very many people in your lifetime as positive and powerful as Art Williams. Do you know one of my goals before they plant me in the ground? I would like to be positive, totally positive, for one 24-hour period just before I die. Right now, as positive and powerful as I am, I'll get excited and I'll go for an hour, 2 or 3, and then I'll start worrying. I'll start fearing something. It's your ability to deal with that and not let it destroy you that will determine whether you're successful or not. I work so hard on a good attitude. I cannot tell you the hours I spend working on a good dadgum attitude. I just work at it like you can't believe. I'm looking for a good year. First 2 or 3 weeks of January, worst damn time of the year. You understand that? Worst time of the year. I hate it more than anything, right? April's baby starts walking, 8 months old, okay? I mean, I take that as a small sign that it's gonna be the greatest year, okay? Hey, folks, I mean, you don't look for things like that. You don't look for every little thing in your life is an indicator that something good that you can build hope and excitement on it, lift you up today. You're absolutely crazy, folks. I am flat telling you. You got to go to work on your attitude. You get on fire for 30 days. Get excited. Get on fire. You got to have an attitude that everything's great. I don't care what anybody asks you for 30 straight days, everything's great. You go into the office tomorrow, they say, Art, how did elections come out last week? Everything's great. Art, how's it been? Everything's great. Art, how's your income? Everything's great. Art, how's your family? Everything's great. Everything's great. 30 straight days. Now, it's sad. Now, I know some of you say it, I can't do that, okay? I understand that, okay? But, and that ain't all of it, I'm sorry to tell you, okay? Not only have you got to smile and be happy and have an attitude that everything's great at business, but you got to do it at home. So see, you can't go to work and be smiling and be happy and everything's great and then go home and beat the wife and kids, okay? I mean, when you go home, everything's got to be great. You got to be smiling, you got to be happy, and your wife said, how your day go? Everything's great. Everything's great. Folks, you got to get excited. You got to get happy. You got to get positive, you got to get on fire, and you got to show it. Now listen to me, I deal with so many people, folks, they said, Art, I am so thankful, I am so grateful, I love life, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my personal life, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my business life, but they look like hell. See, that ain't good enough, folks. You got to show it. You got to bounce around. You got to be happy. You got to be positive. You got to be blowing and going. And see, you can't just be that way when things are going good. See, that's not a print. It's easy to be happy when you get promoted, make a lot of money, right? See, when you're having problems, that's when you got to be bound. You got to be happy and positive, right? If you want to win, you got to get pumped up, and you got to stay pumped up. Let me tell you a problem. Every day, things and people are going to try to tear you down. They're going to try to dump garbage on you. They're going to try to tell you it's not worth it. You can't do it. Throw in the towel. The country's going to heck. Well, let me tell you this. I believe attitude alone will determine which road you take in life. See, I believe you got two choices. You can look at life as a total pain in the butt, or you can look at life as a beautiful, wonderful experience. The only thing that will determine which way you go is your attitude.
It can be positive or it can be negative. You can be a winner, you can be a loser. You can be happy or you can be sad. You can be a dud or you can be a dadgum stud. Well, I made up my mind, as long as there's a breath left in me, dadgum, and I'm going to go for it. Ain't nobody or nothing going to tear me down and make me miserable, make me give up.
Unmute, Coach Andy.
Unmute. Am I good?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think I'm crooked. I'm looking one way. I look at one way, the other way. But it don't matter. We're going to go whatever way we got here. I'm in my live studio in Bethany Beach, Delaware, in the bedroom, making it happen one more time. We are fired up, excited about everything that's going on. We got halftime right now. Halftime for the month of November. We got 2 more full weeks left. But what's critical about this week is you're going to make a decision right now. I'm talking about right now, Tuesday night, how you're going to finish this month. Because the reality is, if you don't get momentum in place between now and next Tuesday, you're not going to be flying through the rest of the month. See, with Thanksgiving coming up, that's typically a challenge for most people, one of the busiest travel days of the year and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to be one of the busiest travel days for most people. You know, they're worried about the COVID, they're worried about smaller, celebrations and things like that. This is one of the set up to be probably the greatest finish in a November that Primerica's ever had in a 43-year company. I'm telling you, when I look at my sheet that showed in 12 months, going from district 1 by 700 to SVP in 12 months, that included a 30 by 30,000 replacement, included starting all over again, going to RVP 30 by 30, and promoting 3 RVPs 5 months later. My 5th month is an RVP. What you got to understand is that, that November and that December were great. And I've had different times. I remember I went to National Sales Rate with NSD in November. I know out of the Beast, the great Andrea Burks, who we'll see out in Colorado. There's a chance. I'm telling you, a chance she's going to go over the ruby red ring. Think about that. Dadgum, it just fills my heart up thinking about such a fighter, a fierce competitor, somebody, and you see everybody, because I pretty much hear, I always joke about it. Nobody likes tattletale except, of course, me. People always tell me, so-and-so's got this. Everybody goes through crap. Everybody goes through crap. The poor will always be with you. I know that came from the Bible. I always joke about it, that I made it up. But the poor, what does that mean? The poor people don't have any money? Yeah, it means people don't have any money. You got to cover for them one more time. You pay their electric bill or the gas bill or whatever it is, and they pencil you in and put you in an ink for that every month and maybe some more. The poor can't figure out how to get it together, how to get an appointment, how to, stay positive. They're always going to be around you. And I tell you, like Andrea Burks, I don't know anybody that got punched more times in the face in such a horrible way multiple times. And dadgum, she's going to come flying through that, the $1 million ring. We're talking about November. It's just either right on the edge of it or right there, but it's going to happen. The big part of that is November. And this November is different than all the other Novembers. I'm just telling you, it's a bigger deal, a bigger opportunity for all of us in Primerica. We've got to make this thing happen in a short amount of time if you get the momentum in place in the next 7 to 8 days. You put that in place by the time this program, and we will have a program next Tuesday night. If you've got yourself set up by next Tuesday night, knowing that you put everything you could into making all the momentum in place happen for you, and you got places to go from that standpoint, it's going to be all over when you go flying through the holidays. I'm just telling you. And then you could go out. What you could do is right after that, we're all heading out to Keystone, and you could just lie victorious on the field or out in the snow, make some snow angels, hopefully face up, not face down. But you got your opportunity to go out there and make something big happen. I'm telling you, in my opinion, a bigger opportunity than ever. How do you do that? You put it all on the line. I remember when I started running contests. I had some ideas, and I run them by Larry Waddell and Bob Turley, and I just quit running them by because they didn't know, they were a different level than I was. But I started out, we're going to have a picnic, and I remember my first picnic in January of 1982. We set the picnic up for like March 1st, and I think we had like 31 people there. The next year we had, I think, 74 people there, and I had taken the money for cash for a pig picking. This guy had a barbecue place. He's going to sell me the whole pig and have it all dressed up and everything, so you can have the barbecue and the ribs all separated out, and big old picnic. I said, every year we're going to run a daggone picnic. Well, 2 years after that, man, by the time we got to our fourth year, we had over 2,000 people show up at the picnic. But I mean, on the hog one, it was 74 people, and the guy that collected all the money came and bandaged up and said, his name was Joe. Because, man, I got robbed, right thing. And of course, everybody thought Young Region was because we were young. It's my last name. But, part of me was being naive. It's like, I actually thought the guy got beat up. Older people looked at me and said, you really think he got beat up? Man, he walked out with like $800. Well, maybe he did. But we had 2,000 people by the fourth year. I mean, we had to have ambulances because we did the Olympics. We had tug of war. We had touch football. We had a dunk tank, all that crap, I remember, money orders. Yeah, I mean, not money orders, money clips. I asked Jean over at PG Engraving, what can you do for $1? And she's like, $1, I can say a money clip. I got 21 of them, and Hill Williams on it, and Peggy Hightower, Bruce Clark, these guys got the money clip. And, it was we're going to make so much money that we're going to need a clip to put all the money in. The funny part about that is those money clips probably couldn't hold 5, 6, 8 bills, and they'd have cracked in half. They were little cheapos, I remember later on, stepping it up, we were going to go to the Sheraton downtown Shoreham Hotel down in D.C., and Bobby Buisson was going to come in. And the daggum ballroom was like $12,000. And I wasn't in business before. That's one of my pet peeves. And, I know I'll step on some toes right now, but people, they talk about a business degree. I'm always getting bombarded by Wake Forest on emails, come back and get an MBA and all this other crap. And then I look at the people teaching the classes, and I mean, they're teaching classes. They never run a business, never built a business, and they're taking your money to talk about how you could run a business or run some major part of a business or whatever the crap they teach. Well, I never took a business course, but all I know is I had like Art Williams, man, my butt was always burning. We were going to get more people, recruit more people. John Lennon showed up with like 38 independent agencies. They had 38 separate offices, all these different counties, all over North Carolina, South Carolina, Southern Virginia. I mean, he had a dadgum machine in place. And I knew they weren't going to recruit a lot, and they didn't. They sold, and it took about 2 years to finally knock that up. I mean, you got to have a knockout chart for you. And you start with some people in the office. Who are you going to beat? Who are you tired of listening to? Who are you tired of getting beat by? I mean, is Belda going to win, 57 cups in a row? I mean, maybe she will. And I know how it goes. And I heard this crap. I was never the one saying that crap, because if you get your ass beat, you get your ass beat. I mean, I watched the football games like if they'd had that call taken back, or the referee made a bad call, or they just made that kick. If any kind of game comes down to if it was a kick or it was a penalty, all this other crap, you got beat anyway. I mean, when you run up the score, you see a team run up the score. I mean, when they're winning by a third out there, and it's they're winning by 40, 50. I don't hear Alabama talking about, man, we had a bad call. I guarantee there was bad calls in that game. I guarantee the kicker missed a kick or did something stupid. I guarantee there was a missed opportunity, or 5 or 10 or 20. But, man, when you just go do what you're supposed to do and keep running the play, all that other crap doesn't matter. I've never gotten hung up, even in Primerica. I see people, and I see them win. Sometimes I see them run a play. A lot of times you'll see trick plays and stuff like that. Man, look at all that kind of stuff. People making money for a little while. I measure my business on what happened for 40 years. Yeah, I'm happy for people, happy that they have things going on, things in place. But what kind of business you want? One that's going to last for 20, 30, 40, 50 years or 100 years? Or one that looks good for a little while? Ran a little championship run for a little while, and nobody even remembers. You're a little asterisk in the record book. I don't want to play that kind of game. So you got to choose what level you want to play at. And it comes down to your choices, and get that knockout chart. And right now I got them. I'm telling you, if the police could see some of the faces in my iPad right here, people I got on my knockout chart, I'm gonna knock the crap out of them. And when I get going again here in the next 6 weeks or so, first of the year, get things in place. All I'm telling you is I got my knockout chart already for March, for June, for July, for the Dome, for September, October, this time next year, and the end of the year. I got a knockout chart of it, and already we're knocking people out. It's like what I was talking about with Mary Walker and myself on the income thing. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. What level? Who are you going after? I mean, you're going to play this game? And the thing about it is, you don't have to be 18 years old, 24 years old, be able to, dunk a basketball, bench press 450 pounds, run a 4.5 40, and as far as fast run and all that, you don't have to have talent like any kind of dancing skills or the voice, the musical, but you don't have to have pretty much any ability here except stick ability. And you go out there and keep running the play, you're going to beat so many people if you run it and you get the numbers. If you have people and you have more people coming in, and that's what amazes me when I listen to people and I hear them talk all the time about the same 5 or 6. If you're telling anybody about the same 5 or 10 people, I mean, you don't hear me saying that. I mean, I did a daggum thing on Saturday for Warren Powers. They're going for SNSD and $1 million in cash. I'll talk about Warren all the time. Every now and then I'll mention him. But if I was talking about the same old people who ain't been doing it, and if that was including me, you got to knock it off. You can't be talking about the same old people. You got to choose to play at a higher level, which means you have to choose to go get the players to get the job done. And hey, I'm friends with a whole lot of people in the business, but I don't have any false illusion that somehow they're going to put me in position to do the numbers I have to do. If it comes down to my income and your income, it's totally about you having to go do what you're supposed to do. So it's about being a double-digit a month, personal, make $50,000 extra a year. 2 months can be $100,000. What level you want to play at? So for me, I choose to play at a high level. The other thing is you're going to have to mental toughness, man. And I don't mean meanness. I mean just mentally tough. You got to suck it up. And people are always going to talk. And I don't get into arguments with people about this guy's got this system or that system. Matter of fact, most of you ask me, I'm going to put together some package that I saw on this or that. Or most of the time, I'll tell you, sure, go ahead. Add everything you want to your chicken soup. We'll see how all that comes out. But you better get something that's simple, duplicatable, that you can bind to repetition, that's proven. Now, how does it get proven? Because you prove it works. You do it over and over and over and over again. Don't get emotional and passionate and all worked up about the people. Get all emotional and passionate about the numbers, trying people out. I said, like Nick Saban at Alabama, he's got that little closing table at his coffee table with the national championship rings on there. And he goes in there with a bounce. He's going after every guy like that's the greatest guy that's ever come to Alabama. Most of them are going to tell him no. But he's going to go after every single one because he knows if he gets enough players and layers of players, you're going to be in great shape. So, for your mental toughness, Art said it on the video one more time. You can't show weakness. I mean, if you think about your grandmother, your great-great-grandmother, maybe your mother, they went so much crap in their life, way more crap than we go through. And it's like, well, you don't understand what I'm going. I get that. I hate it when people say that stuff. And at the end of the day, I don't want to understand because whatever years you're going through, almost all the time ain't crap anyway. I mean, listen, it's really life-threatening. There's something serious going on. You got to suck it up, and you got to provide the example to go get it done. That's where most people get beat. They're telling their MVP speech, well, I paid a price, and I went through this, and my family. I hate it when people get up at meetings and talk about their kids are paying the price now so that when they win, it's all going to be just go win. Just go win. They don't know the difference anyway. I love it, even though, when I was making $500,000, $800,000, $1 million a year, I mean, Sarah was one time, how much Dad is making? And Amy tells the story, that, by the way, I had little Andy, Janie, Amy out there doing a great job, especially Amy put his Facebook stuff together. But it was like Dad always knew a guy. I didn't even tell him I was the guy. Then one day they figured out I am the guy. Well, so much better. Over deliver on everything. You under promise and over deliver. I was telling somebody the other day, one of the greatest strengths ever is to be underestimated. You get that result and that intensity in your gut, like a burning fire, and your butt's on fire, that you're going to do what it takes to go get the job done. It's amazing what's going to happen in your business. And you got one full week to get momentum in place for what I believe is going to be the greatest November in a 43-year-old company's history because of what's going on and all that. Have small gatherings, do this. Probably when people get little teeny turkeys their size of capons or something, little half chickens. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, while that's all going on, people talking, let's just plow through this thing and make it, I'm telling you, the best November ever. And you could do that if you fight for the next week to get all the momentum you need. So let me turn it back over to Wes and the great Rob McKeever, the Red Baron, and remind Wes that this is a family show. So take it easy there, Wes. All right.
I could have possibly done to I don't know. I feel
All right.
targeted.
All right, so we got a quick rally update. Now this is basically your last chance to make it into the top teams. We're going to have one more segment after this, and then we're going to call the top team. So go ahead and show that graphic. If you're an RVP right now, RVPs only still, we need to know how many people you got in the base shop watching. So get us a text at 404-465-1830, and then tell us your last name and tell us the number of people you got watching. You just got a little bit of time to get this done, so do not delay. Now, we got Trish here.
I'm here. I'm wearing my Keystone sweatshirt from last year. Just getting in the mood, ready to get into some colder weather so I can wear my warmer clothes. All right, so we're going to start off with Hillary Nichols, Savitri Crenshaw, Keith Ottinger, Rob McKeever, Mary Hayes, Connie Whitmere, Merv Wiley Browse, Judy Marshall, Gigi McInnes, Craig Lane, Kahana, Nicole Price, Anthony Malone, Rolf Shakar, Beth Bynum, Gupta, Parker, Belle Rubio, Aaron and Lakeisha Thomas, David and Garcia Catan, the Bella Rice Base Shop, Robbie Hall, Horner, Jolene Jenkins, Sylvia Robinson, Bob and Linda Baker, Vince Lane, Jeremy Morrow, Levy, Laura Langston, Glenn Plate, Evelyn Tejada, Sherry Johnson, Tren, Daryl Julian, Medji Charles, Joanne and Richard Shaw, Robert Berryman, I think it's Robert, I'm not positive, Peggy and Jaron King, Cesar Marmolejo, Joe and Carolyn Red, Walter Charles, Lee Nguyen, Amanda Lorifice, Shanti Walker, Miki and Milton Peel, Wes and Shay Florinord, Jerry and Dolores Snavely, George and Betsy Costanzas, Tanya Searcy, William Kofer, J100 and Mike Martin, Tammy and Ron Lewis, Hamad Brisby, Doris Rodriguez, Bobby Cheeks, Patrick Nadal, and Elizabeth Luzinares.
It's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
That's two and a quarter pages.
Yeah. So, and they were still coming in. So.
Wow. All right, so
Had to
guys,
stop
like
writing.
I said, this is your last chance. Throw the graphic up one more time, 404-465-1830. Shoot us a text if you're an RVP. Only if you're an RVP right now. We need to know who you are, how many people you got watching. You just got one more segment left. So if you know your team and you're just one, go ahead and start reporting like we talked about. Begin the process of building momentum. So with that, it's time for our RVPs plus two. And, a guy that is, we're going to talk about a winning attitude, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, this guy has had a winning attitude, continues to have a winning attitude. And, man, I just love, I cannot wait for, all this COVID stuff to be over so we can have our master of ceremonies leading the dance contest and stuff at Winston-Salem. So give it up for Dante Thomas.
Hey guys, how y'all doing, man? I miss you guys a lot too. What's up, Wes? What's up, Rob? Hey, Mr. Andy, how you doing? Man, we're so honored to be here today and talk about this positive and winning attitude. And when we talk about a positive and winning attitude, I always think about a beacon of light. I've been this way all my life. I remember one time how I got this way and I got stuck this way is because one day my mom, jacked me up and said, you better change your attitude. You better change your attitude. And I was like, yes, ma'am. So from that day forth, I made sure that anything that my mother told me, I made sure I kept a positive attitude and, always being on point with that. And I just feel like, when you got a positive attitude, I mean, Mr. Art Williams already said it, everything that I'm about to say, you know what I mean? And I've seen many of his speeches and these videos that just keep on, coming along. I'm just honored just to, be a part of it. But the thing is about a positive attitude is if you have a negative one, who wants to be around you? Nobody wants to be around a negative, attitude of somebody that they can't spark their fire or anything like that. And then another question I always ask is, if I'm gonna have a positive, attitude, and being, happy all the time, who am I impacting? I'm impacting everybody that's around me, right? Because when you have a positive attitude, people want to be around you, right? You don't want to be a negative coach or a negative leader or anything like that. I mean, but there are some people in the world that look at people who be positive like myself and say they too positive. I don't want to be around them because all their lives they've been around, just negative things or negative situations, or what have you. When you lead people, you want to be positive enough that you have a door open so that people can feel like they can genuinely come to you, right? Because I always say nobody wants a negative losing coach or negative losing leader. They want somebody upbeat, up tempo, and when people look at you, they're like, man, when I come around this person, I gotta be almost like the life of the party, and that's true. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give like 4 or 5 little bullet points of things that I live by. Smiles are free, right? And then you may have some people that say, you know what, I don't like smiles showing off 32 of your teeth, right? One thing you can smile is you can smile with your spirit. See, you have to have a spirit that makes people want to be around you, a spirit of joy, a spirit of happiness. One of the things that I also live by is, the word of God saying that the joy of the Lord is my strength. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that I'm strong and mighty in that area, and then also being positive to speak in people's lives, because there could be people that have the wrong information speaking negatively into your life, and then people suck that up. Why is it in the world that negativity sells more than positivity? Well, in this arena that we're in, positivity going to sell. When you come around Dante Thomas, you're going to get nothing but a positive and winning attitude. And guess what? If you don't like it, guess what? I'm not going to change or downsize myself, to be, where you think that you should be. Here's another tip that I'm going to give. It takes more muscles in your face to be negative than it does when you put a smile on your face. So when you're using so many muscles in your face and you're not even thinking about it, you're really, really, putting creases in your face because you're always frowning all the time. I'd rather smile and look happy all the time, so it's easy to be welcomed by anyone, right? Now, another thing that I'll add is this. Whenever we're talking to someone or whenever I'm talking to someone, I try my best to do this thing called sandwich them, right? So what do I mean by sandwich them? What I mean by sandwich them is this. See, when you are going to be positive, you start off the conversation saying, for example, hey, Mr. Andy, you did a really, really good job taking care of that part right there. But here, let me show you where you have some areas of opportunity. So the first thing I did was laid the slice of bread on the top, right? And I already made everything sound good so it can be warmer for them to come in and receive the correction that I have for them, right? So then I'll come and say, this is the areas I believe you need to tweak, this is what you need to work on. Now they're open to receive it. And then guess what? Once I finish with that, I'm gonna go right back at the very, very end. And then I'm gonna layer, you know what? Because I know you can do it. I believe in you. You got this. What I just did was sandwich them, right? I sandwiched them. And what do we all like? We all like to eat good, delicious sandwiches. But at the end of the day, the sandwiches is supposed to bring out the results. Last thing I'll say about a positive attitude is, one day, me and my wife, Janine, we were driving on our way to a meeting. We were taught, make sure we're not late for a meeting. We got to think positive. And guess what? My tire blew out on the beltway. So when it blew out on the beltway, I thought positively. I said, you know what? We're going to put a little flag in this car. We're going to roll the window up. We put the car to the side of the road, and we thought positively by saying, you know what? We still got to make it to the meeting and still make sure that we show up and be happy about the meeting. And guess what? Our uplines, Chris and Tasha, knew nothing about us having a blowout until we told them after the meeting was over with. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I feel about being positive. You just got to have that energy in you to be able to want to be that person. And, I thank God that I am that person that wants to remain positive and be positive. And today, I have 2 young ladies with me One's from Maryland, and the other one is all the way from Illinois. And even being positive about Zoom. So we recruited a young lady in Illinois, still doing our thing here in Maryland. So I want to turn it over to this young lady, one of the leaders on my team that's always positive. Nothing you can say to her, breaks her down. I want y'all to give it up. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Keisha Walker.
Good evening. Thanks, Dante.
You're welcome.
For me, positive attitude is so important. The joy of being happy is so important and being incorporated in my day-to-day life. I was always told as a child, I have a beautiful smile, which built my self-esteem and helped me improve relationships. So making other people happy is what makes me happy, especially my 3 beautiful daughters, Koya, Kamia, and Kayla, 18, 21, and 25. Brings me joy to keep them happy by teaching them how important it is to be good listeners, friends, and of course, future role models to be successful in life. When I'm happy, I have a positive thoughts, which helps me to develop positive attitudes, which helps me to enhance and be good to myself and others, confidence and courage in my inner strength. Being happy gives me a sense of control and independence to want to spread the energy and keep that fire lit, because that's why I'm that girl on fire. So I want everybody else to be on fire too. So by smiling and making someone else's day, I'm grateful and happy to be a part of an awesome circle, especially in this business, and looking forward to following in the footsteps of my uplines and the ones above them, especially coaches Janine and Dante Thomas. So stay positive and you'll always be happy. Thank you.
Phenomenal job, Keisha. We're proud of you. And keep on doing what you're doing and stay on fire, girl, on fire. This next young lady, leader of in our team, double-digit recruiter, I'm going to turn it over to her all the way down in Carbondale, Illinois. I never knew it was a Carbondale. I always thought Chicago. But, when I learned about Carbondale, I was like, Carbondale, industrial area, great place. I'm going to turn it over to this leader, Lorette Tillman.
Thank you. Thank you. So I am honored to be here. I wasn't always a positive person, meaning I would always think negatively. I was a Debbie Downer. I put myself down all the time. I chose one day to go to church with my mother. And that was when I realized it was important for me to understand that everything I wasn't happy about in life was on myself. It was nobody else. It was me. So I had to do some changes. And if I wanted to accomplish anything in life, I had to get control of myself and my mind. And wow. After I overcame fear and doubt, all the negative thinking, I felt and could see the blessing that comes along with being positive. I was very successful, less stressed. I was at peace with myself. I could conquer anything I set my mind to. Being positive is life-changing, not only for myself, but my kids, my spouse, my friends, coworkers, even strangers. I wake up happy. I wake up being positive. It sets the day to be wonderful. I don't know about you, but I sleep a lot better knowing that I had a wonderful day.
Wow.
My coach once said to me, ask yourself why. Why not you? So I say, why not be positive? You never know the blessings that will come with you being positive. So be happy, be hungry, and be humble. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It's a blessing. Another one to mark off my checklist. And I send it back to you, Dante, the number one upline.
Well, we thank you so much, Lorette. Thank you, Mr. Andy. Thank you, Matt, Darla, Rob, and Wes. We're excited about being a part of the training today. And again, I'm just excited to be here. Thank you so much, Mr. Andy. And one of the things that you always said to us, Mr. Andy, is one story that I remember, sticks to me with heart that you tell, is when Miss Peggy asked you, and Mr. Andy, aren't you excited? And you say, I'm excited right now. you know. So at the end of the day, it's the spirit of the thing, you know what I mean, that really, really drives me. So thank you, Rob and Wes. I'm turning it back over to you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, great job. I mean, that's exciting stuff. Just hearing your team and Dante, I just wanted to ask you real quick. As far as I know, just going to RVP, man, it was you had your race, right? And so talk to us about going to RVP as far as why it's so important to go RVP, and not only that, how does it feel being an RVP, and what's the benefits that come with that?
Wow. Well, the importance of going regional vice president, because that's when you're really in the game. And when we say really in the game, yes, you could make it the district. You know, that's the first time that you can be successful. Then you get the division. And one of the things that, Coach Hightower told us was, told me and my wife is, you don't want to stay at division long because division causes division. So as soon as I heard that, we stayed division leaders for only 2 weeks. And then we went to regional leader and we became regional vice president, because Chris and Tasha always talked to us about that. I'm just saying, don't you want your own stuff? Don't you want to have your own? And when we made the decision to go regional vice president, man, it was, just a phenomenal thing. But we became regional vice presidents out of that run of Miss Peggy going to $1 million. So what I always looked at, again, being positive, is yes, if we're going to fight, let's fight for someone, and then by default, we're going to win. And now that we're regional vice presidents, there's a story that, we put together listening to Chris, our uplines, Chris and Tasha, they walked 12 years of him doing what they needed to do. And in less than a year, we, being regional vice president puts us in the position. We clicked over 100,000. We're on our way to 200,000. But guess what? Meeting with Mr. Andy, he said, 200,000 is great, but you need to get to 250. So it's always another level getting there. And then when you get to 250, we need to hit 300,000 for ownership. So it has benefited us, a whole lot, Doc. I mean, a whole lot to be able to be in this position. We are grateful for what, our uplines have, placed before us, what God has done for us, man. And, the sky's not the limit. It's beyond the limit, but we don't want to stay low. We need to get to $1 million as well, because that's where we know that the freedom really, really is.
That's awesome.
I love that. Dante, if you would, could you tell us a little bit about your 2-minute story? I know you talked about it, at least what I heard, I imagine being part of your 2-minute story when you did your RVP speech. Talk about, the Roy Kroc Award and all the, building somebody else's business, the success you had there, but the finally being able to have a chance to own it yourself. Can you talk about that and give us a little bit of your background?
Yes, sir. So I grew up here in Baltimore, Maryland, and I could have been recruited in one of the worst things in the world, which is, hustling, selling drugs or what have you. And that didn't happen for me. I chose, McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? I got laughed at as the guy coming up, selling chicken nuggets, and you cooking cheeseburgers and egg McMuffins, waking up 4 o'clock in the morning and different things like that. And I did not know that at that time, as I was growing through. Now, I've done everything in McDonald's that you can possibly ask for. I was the guy that mopped the floors, cooked the cheeseburger, worked the cash register, grew from the swing manager to the shift manager to the first assistant to the second assistant, all the way up. And one time, Mr. Andy, I said, how can I become an owner? McDonald's asked me, they sent me an application. He said, I need $1.7 million just to, get into the business. Well, I don't have $1.7 million to invest into a business, at that time. And then I worked for McDonald's over 20 years of my life, guys. 20 years of my life, I worked at McDonald's, and in 2015, McDonald's made a decision, the owner-operator made a decision. They said they were losing money. That's when Chick-fil-A and all these folks came around. 2015, they laid me off. If it wasn't for my wife saying to me, my wife Janine saying to me, babe, you don't want to work for nobody. Why don't you go ahead and learn everything that Chris and Tasha have to teach you and build a legacy for our family? And guess what? That's exactly what I did. It's been 5 years now, have not worked for no one. And Primerica is where we need to be, because guess what? It's the people business. I like people. I'm positive and being and talking to people. And that's where we are right now.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much, Dante. Give you a little round of applause.
And Rob, can I add one more thing?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, man.
So we got the ring, but I took a picture of the McDonald's ring. They gave me a 10-year anniversary ring. The ring is so small. It has a little arch on it and one diamond in it, right? And it took me 10 years to get that ring, right? Now I have the Power Builder ring on, right? Took me less than 12 months to get this ring, and the size of the ring and everything. Primerica is just a totally different place. And one day I'm going to share that picture because it tells a story. I had to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to get that 10-year ring. I had to miss many cookouts, many family events, but in Primerica, I get a bigger ring and I can show up at all those places. It's truly amazing. And the Ray Kroc Award that you mentioned, that award is sitting in my shed. It brings me no income at all.
That's crazy. Hey, you know what I learned?
Huh.
Size does matter. Thank you, Dante. It's proven.
Family show. It's a family show.
I feel targeted.
Dante, his positive outlook might be the fountain of youth too. Because Dante, you don't know this, but I found out how old you were a couple months ago, and it blew my mind. Because I would not be surprised if you've been ID'd within the past year.
Right.
Yeah,
He's got a baby face.
That's true. He does.
He's gonna outlast all of us.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, Dante. Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you,
right,
guys.
now it's time for Trish. We got the top teams. Cutting it off now. We're going to figure out who are the ones that we want to report in for the final count.
All right, I'm going to start off by reporting the RVPs that reported in while I was up here giving the first announcements. We've got Dottie Roach, Linda and Bill Muse, Ray Rodriguez, Gigi Hashish, Jankies, Eddie Espinosa, Melvin Cherry Rourke, Cynthia Thompson, the Eubanks, Desiree Ladan, and Nevia Chung. So, and then we go to the top 2. So, we have got Walter Charles. This is going to be the battle of the Cup champions.
Yep.
So, we're coming down to it. Got Walter Charles reporting in with 85, and Belda Rubio is reporting in with 125. So, again, these 2 RVPs, only these 2 RVP teams, Walter Charles and Belda Rubio. So we're going to start the count.
We'll see.
We're going to rock and roll. We're going to see.
I don't know if that bold team can show up, with Belda working remote from Hawaii. This might be Walter's time.
Yep. And, we got the Cup champions going head to head right now. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, guys, so if you don't know how this works, obviously these teams are experienced, but when you grow like they do, there's obviously probably people that are watching this in those base shops for the very first time. So the way this works now is if you're in those top 2 base shops, the Walter Charles base shop and the Belda Rubio base shop, I want you to text 404-465-1830. You don't have to be an RVP to text now, but you do have to be a part of those 2 base shops and only those 2 base shops. And when you send us a text, I want to know who your RVP is, and I want to know your solution number to make sure that we count you. All right, we're only going to accept 1 count per text message from a phone, right? So I can't sit here and report me and Wes's attendance watching the show off of just 1 phone. He needs to do it from his phone. I need to do it from my phone, right? And if you don't have a solution number and you're brand new, this is your first time, you can go ahead and put guest or whatever you want to in there. But we're going to be counting. Now, you got to get them in quick, because if you don't get them in quick or if you send them in too early, Trish didn't count those, and we've only got 1 more segment before we crown the winner. So make sure you get them in quick, and make sure you write that number down, and make sure everybody on the team has the number so they can get it done. One more time, 404-465-1830. Please tell us who your RVP is, otherwise we can't count it for the right one, and make sure you put in your solution number. Thank you, and take it away, Andy.
All right, guys, I think we got Jake Fruget on. Has got Jake?
No?
No Jake.
Nope.
No Jake. Dadgum. What am I going to do now? Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know if he gets on, give me a high sign or interrupt or something like that. But Jake's a great guy. He's going to be out in Colorado with 30 people with us, and a guy going for not only SVP, he's about to hit $500,000 in cash. Might be doing that tonight, and obviously NSD and SNSD. But a couple things you need to, more things to think about is you got to embrace the repetition. You got to do the work. You got to put the work in. If you don't put the work in, you're either sorry, sloppy, lazy, or stupid. I mean, if you think about a company where Primerica is, you can get as big as you want here and, deliver for your family. But one of the things I challenge you to do is get big goals, not little goals. Big vision, not little vision. And one of the things I talked about when I remember telling my mom, and I've told this story a bunch on here, is when I told her I was going to take her to Hawaii. We're going to go out there first class. We're going to go to Pearl Harbor and see where your brother went out. The last port he went out, and when he went over toward Japan, Tinian actually lost his life. It was only 1 year older and all that kind of stuff. And it was a big deal to her. And the thing is, I did so many things that I talked about, whether it's go to the Super Bowl, things that she wanted to do. She loved baseball. Even if she could barely get around, it took her in a limo over to Camden Yards for the Orioles and get club seats. Take her right in there, easy in and out, and make it a really great experience. But I sold it. I talked about it, and one of the things about it, when it comes down to your vision, you got to get fired up when you're talking to people. And when the whole thing, Dante, great job, you and your team, just unbelievable job. Really proud of you guys. But I like at the end when you talked about Peggy coming up and grabbing my shoulders. Aren't you excited? I was going to SNSD. And it was a big deal. And we were coming out, finally Art Williams was going to acknowledge us. We got the last Inner Circle trophy ever given at A.L. Williams. I think it was 27 of them total in the whole history of A.L. Williams. I had the number 27, got it, of course, a week after Art left. But, it was when that run, when Peggy's grabbed my shoulders. Aren't you excited? I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. Well, you know what? I'm intense. And I'm intense. I'm going to play the game. And I'm going to play the game as hard as I can play the game. If it's football, I'm going to knock your head off your shoulders. I mean, that's just one of the, because the dude coming after me is going to try to knock my head off my shoulders. I mean, when you're playing, you're playing. And in Primerica, it's an interesting thing when it comes to contact sports. I have to go back in the days when people were at the airport. Now with COVID, there's hardly anybody in there. But my big thrill was standing, about 3 feet away from a trash can and just standing there waiting for people, millennials and moms, walking in their mom shirts and stuff, walking down, look at their phones and run into me and bounce off of me. And that's kind of, but play the game with intensity. You got to be intense. You got to be on your game when you're in the game. If you can't touch it, feel it, see it, and smell it, you'll never be able to sell it. Touch it, feel it, see it, and smell it. Like, what does new car smell like? I mean, you think that's got that rich Corinthian leather, like Ricardo Montalban used to talk about with the Chrysler, rich Corinthian leather. You can smell that. I mean, right in your chair. I'm in my chair, you're in your chair. You know what? It doesn't look like a pine tree. It doesn't look like something at the car wash. It doesn't look like, what can we spray? Can we spray baby's breath or what crap they got in there? New cars, they got new car smell. I mean, I'm talking about new car, the real new car, and I was talking about with my Zoom with the Breakfast Club last week, it's like I get rid of tires. I mean, when they've just gone as far as my opinion, it's kind of, that's enough. So maybe I get another 5,000, 10,000 miles out of these tires. When you put the brand new ones on, you can always tell the difference. I mean, my thing about my clothes. I was joking with Angelo Caballero earlier today. People talk about Versace and Louis Vuitton. All these fancy things. I mean, I wouldn't waste my money on $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 worth of that crap. But when it comes to my New Balance shoes, they're like $185, $200. Well, I'm gonna buy my damn shoes about every 6 weeks. I like the way they feel. I like the way they fit. It makes me feel good. There's certain things, like if you're going to get a bed, get a decent bed. Get a car, get a decent car. You're going to spend hours and hours and hours. I mean, get something that's decent for you, that you feel good about. And it doesn't have to be a Porsche. I mean, you see me, I got to get that daggum Tahoe, and now that thing's coming down the end of the pike and I'm kind of looking around, but I don't know. I mean, you run your plan, you get your vision. And I'm telling you, if you deliver for people in a big way, like I didn't buy a lot of fancy stuff. At one time, I think we had 4 houses. And I spent a whole bunch of time trying to get rid of them. It was just a pain in the butt, And then Ronnie Barnes told me, he goes, hey, big guy. He says, with all the money you spend on 2, 3 houses, just keeping them up, you could stay in a nice suite at the Ritz-Carlton, any of them, all over the world. Room service, somebody come clean your room. You got that. It's like, sold me the dream. It's like, man, not only that, if the kids grow up, I mean, I taught the girls how to camp. You go to a nice hotel and order room service. They know daggum fires and all that crap, whatever. I mean, so what level do you want to play at? And what vision are you going to have? And when I was sold it to my mom, I was like, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. And then I just have to go figure out how to pay for it. I remember the girls, some of the 10-year-old trips on the second one. I'm sitting there looking at the bank account. And I'm like, oh my God, But I promised to go get it done, and you got to get it done because you got to sell that thing and you got to deliver. And the best way to do that is take a video screen in your brain and have this video screen as big as the wall, wherever you are, and where maybe like an IMAX, I've actually, my mom's eyes, one eye would be like the size of the top of my head, as big as my head or bigger. And watch her eyes slow motion where she has disappointment in her life and didn't get to go to, get a scholarship to Juilliard because World War II broke out. This disappointment, that disappointment, somebody dropped dead. I mean, just terrible things over the years. And I ran the video that telling her that for whatever reason, good excuses like y'all make up all the time, and some of them are real, they're legit, but there's not an excuse, there's not a reason big enough not to deliver when I told her I was going to deliver. And I would run the video of me telling her, COVID hit, and a lot of people didn't adjust. We had this problem and that problem, all the reasons why we can't go get it done. And I wasn't willing to have that video, that live feed, ever play for me. So I ran the negative video over and over. If I don't go get the job done and get it done this week, so I got momentum going into Thanksgiving week. If I don't go get the next 7 days in place, if I don't go do that, I'm not going to be able to deliver and get the job done. You got to run those videos. I don't care what it's about.
Andy?
It's about somebody do.
That's
yeah?
me. We got Jake here.
Yeah, Jake Frugier, are you there? Where's Jake? Put the camera a little lower on him. You might be doing the worm.
Yes, sir. I'm here, buddy.
All right. You ain't doing the worm. Look at you all cleaned up, trimmed up. There you go. Look at him. He's looking good. And we're excited about you coming out to Colorado. I was just talking about, I have a big vision, not a little vision, deliver for the people. I didn't have nothing growing up. And once I found out the greater things in life, man, I wanted to be able to deliver that all the time and write that check. And just tell everybody your big background. I think after you got your MBA, you got your PhD, you traveled all over the world. You had a family that, anything you wanted, you bought. I think you got a Porsche for your 16th birthday. Talk a little bit about growing up as Jake Frugier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So can you hear me live? I'm good?
We got you.
Yeah, all right, awesome. See, I was literally the complete opposite. So everything, I love how you set me up for that. That was beautiful. So unfortunately, my parents got put in prison when I was 15. And so I actually went to 19 schools before I graduated. Just moving around. I actually went to 4 8th grades. I went to 6 different high schools. I obviously grew up with a chip on my shoulder. I had a lot of anger. I didn't have God in my life at that time. I didn't understand, why me, why was I going from school to school? So I fought a lot. I had a lot, hung around a lot of wrong people. And so, I got, just because I had a chip on my shoulder, I didn't understand why, hurt people. And so my only mindset was to hurt people. Because I was always, why my mom, why my dad, of all the people in the world, they're supposed to have my back. Why are they doing this, blah, blah, blah. And I just was young, I didn't understand it. And so, when you like to fight, unfortunately, you hang out with the wrong type of people, and those type of people end up doing the wrong type of stuff. And so I fell into a lifestyle that I didn't really want to be a part of. And so, just marketing and development and stuff like that, and just different products. And so I left that industry to go to the Army. Okay. I left, to go to the Army, and I did have a PhD, just a street PhD. And so I left that to go to the Army to get out of that lifestyle. When I came back, all my friends were still into the dumb stuff, except even worse. I thought they would have grown up, but they grew up into worse things. And so I didn't want to be a part of that. So I ended up going to, so I stopped with that kind of lifestyle. I was still partying, still, being a teenager. And a funny story, actually, I went to Mardi Gras. For anyone who doesn't know what Mardi Gras is in Louisiana, that's like our Christmas. So people literally wait their whole year just to go to Mardi Gras. And anyway, so you get drunk a lot, right? And so I ended up catching a DUI at 20 years old, just literally driving 47 feet from my house. I'm not exaggerating. I lived across the street from a Taco Bell, and I was waiting for that 4th meal. I literally drove across the street, and someone told them that I was drunk. And I literally got stopped by like 42 cops for one person. You know how they do that crap. And so I'm like, bro, it's just me. But anyway, so I got arrested. And at that time, I went to jail for DUI. And at that time, I said, man, I need to make some changes in my life. And I prayed to God right there. I got bailed out the next day. It was just DUI. So they came and, paid my bond or whatever. And I got bailed out. I got in the car and I said, hey, look, I want to go to church. And so I went to church. So I got arrested on a Saturday. I got bailed out Sunday morning, like 7 a.m. I went to a church called Family Life at 9:30. I got saved at that church, got baptized that night. And then I joined got prospected in Primerica Monday, and I joined Tuesday at an op night. And so I was arrested on Saturday, Primerica financial advisor on Tuesday. And so it was a very interesting turn of events. And the guy who recruited me literally saw me in a cold bath of water. It was in a cold plunge, like an ice bath for athletes, just a bigger version. And he just said, "Hey, do you know anyone looking to make some more money? I'm hiring athletes in the area that want to make some more money. Know anybody?" And I was like, "Me." And so that was pretty much it. That's what happened. And that was it. That's all he told me. And so I got started. I made about 57 the first year. We recruited 187 people my first 9 months. The next year we recruited 370 and I made 80,000. Next year we recruited 500 and made my first 100. And in the fourth year, opened up my own, became my RVP. And we recruited 787 people that year and broke the company record for the most money ever made. We made 330 our first year. Obviously, that's been blown out the water by, all these new people. They just joined their IBA with a Financial Independence Council ring now. It's just crazy. I mean, they literally sign their IBA and get their ring the next week. I don't understand it. But, so that was it. And so that's the story now. And about to get my fifth diamond in a week and a half and go for the $1 million by the Dome. So it's time to win. And just got SVP a month ago because my coach, Andy, I would never forget, I was at the Dome and I said, "Hey, man, I'm building that base shop like you told me." And he goes, "No, that's stupid. You need to start promoting RVPs now." I'll never forget it because literally the first time I ever asked you was in Boca Raton. I said, "Man, so I'm RVP now, so I need to start promoting RVPs, right?" And you go, "No, that's stupid. You need to build a big base shop." I'm like, "Okay, awesome." 2 years later, I'm like, "Hey, got that big base shop, man, 100,000. He goes, "Yeah, it's stupid. You should need to be promoting RVPs now." I'm like, "What the hell, Andy?" So it was awesome. But I've never lost the base. We've averaged 80,000 and above since, and we just promoted our fourth RVP. So we're about to promote our fifth and our sixth. Should be January and February, and grow from there because of you. So I'm excited.
Well, we're fired up by having you out in Colorado. Just two things I want you to talk about right now, though, and we're going to have you talking out there, which is going to be great. I think you got, 25, 30 people coming?
Yeah, 36.
That's awesome, man. So anyway, just two things: just embracing the repetition, not getting all emotional about the individual people, but getting passionate about the damn numbers, doing the work. Just like if you're playing a musical instrument or you're playing football, you got to go know the playbook over and over and over and over and over. The right. Super Bowl was 11 minutes long. They had 187 commercials at the Super Bowl this year. The whole game was not quite 11 minutes of actually snap to whistle, but the time that was spent getting ready for those plays is what we do here. And it's just embracing that with a positive attitude and then having big goals and then kind of talk about some of the things you've been able to do now, because you've hit it, made some money, traveled around, seen some different things. So talk about those things, embracing the numbers and the dream a little bit.
Yeah, so embracing the numbers, I think, is probably the biggest topic you could ever talk about. I think most people, Coach, they get caught up so much in emotions and they build their business with emotions. And I think when in our business, we're a lost business. I think a lot of people spend all their time trying to retain instead of trying to gain. And not that retention is a bad thing. Not that retention is something you shouldn't focus on at all. I'm not saying, and I do not believe in the recruit and throw it against the wall and hope it sticks. In fact, I mean, you know me very well. I'm very psychotic on systems. I believe everything should be systemized. You should get everyone through a system, and the system should do the work. But we're so caught up on retaining the people that are falling through the system by their own will or their own, brain deadness, their own mindset. And I'm not saying it's always their fault, but a lot of people just quitters quit. It is what it is. It's always going to be that way. Quitters quit the gym. Quitters quit our marriage. Quitters quit on their kids. Quitters quit health. Quitters quit diets. Quitters quit saving. Quitters quit college. Quitters quit. It just is what it is. You can't control it. Never going to figure it out why. I don't know why. I wish I could figure out why, because I'd be a freaking $1 million a month already by now, but I just can't. I mean, at the end of the day, quitters quit and winners win. And I believe that, once again, not to fall away from trying to retain. You should develop a system that is conducive for retaining and training winners. But at the end of the day, it's a numbers business. You cannot decide who the winner is going to be. If you would have seen me, I don't even know if I can. Poor thing. All my people did. Hey, Chris, go look at the other link, buddy. Wrong link. Anyways, Darla didn't send me the participation link, so I sent everybody, Candace, go get the other link on Telegram. It's so funny. That's of course my team. Okay, so anyways, back to what I was saying. Am I allowed, I don't even think I can share. Can I share? No, I can't share. Never mind. I was going to show you all a picture, but you think about where I started. If you would see who I was when I started, okay, and I guess I'll just show people at in Broadway, Keystone. But if you would have seen who I was when I started, you wouldn't have looked at that person and said, "Oh yeah, he's going to be an RVP. He's going to make $500,000 a year. He's going to." I mean, I was the opposite. I was single, no kids, no wife, no credibility, no references, no name list. I had 4 people on my name list. But inside was somebody who wanted to win. And there was a system conducive for me to come compete and win. And that's really what happened. And I think that's, how do I get a Jake, or how do I get an Andy? How do I get a Mario? I mean, all the stories of almost all the successful people. You look at Miguel Illich was a freaking taco stand guy. All these stories are people who were just champions inside that fell into a system. So knowing the numbers, 10 people you get in, you're going to keep 3 on a good day, 2 average, 1 if you kind of suck still. It just is what it is. But your job is not to fight on not to decide who the 3 are going to be. It's just to keep going, get 10. Get 10 more and 10 more and 10 more, and then teach that. Get 10, get 10. My system and my office, if you ask any of my people the 3 golden rules, it's get 3 directs a month, turn that into double digit, and train 8 to 15 unlicensed people at all times. You should never have a time when you don't have on paper 8 to 15 unlicensed people that you're training. Doesn't have to be directs. It could be your directs, but you're still training them. Your DNA is on them to duplicate that system. That's what every person in my system knows. Like everybody in my office knows, get 3 double digit, train 8 to 15, period. That's all they know. That's it. And then we teach them to duplicate that to their people. Hey, you should get 3 in double digits. So we have people, I think last month we had 7 or 8 double digit legs in the base. This month we'll honestly probably have closer to 12 to 15. We're on 75 recruits right now. We'll probably do 150 to 170 in the base this month. And we got senior reps. Coach last month did 29 recruits as a senior rep, broke the state record in Louisiana. And the rep under them got 21 directs, and then another person got 13 directs, because that's all we talk about. So we're not just double digiting, we're double digit directing and then teaching them how to do the same thing. And as far as the dream, you can't have a big dream without a big team. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. First and foremost, if anything you can accomplish in life can be done by yourself, it's not worth accomplishing in my eyes, because what it's saying is it's small enough for only one man to do it. And even Jesus didn't do it by himself. He had a team, and when you think about that, he had 12 directs and he went deep, just like Art Williams, and built the biggest team ever in the entire world. I mean, you really believe that? And Art Williams did the exact same thing. Although Jesus would have been a hell of a recruiter. I mean, imagine telling him no at an op night. I mean, he just zap you. I mean, that'd be pretty unbelievable. Just saying. I mean, I would have probably joined the business too. But you think about that. That was what it was. He was a fisher of men, and that's really what this business is about. Is you catch I heard this quote: "Stop trying to build your business. Instead, build your people, and then your people will turn around and build your business." And that's what it's about. We try to go out there and just develop this business by ourselves. We try to go out there and kind of force the will, instead of realizing, man, it don't matter how good you are, without a giant team, you're not going to have a giant dream. It's just that simple. And I think that as far as what the dream I've lived right now, before I'm 31, I'll have $1 million in cash saved. Right now I save anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month, every month. And that's before SVP contract. Now I'll be saving. My goal is to map 50% of my income and get to 60. And so, I save a lot. I buy a ton of properties. I travel the world. I've been on 85 vacations that I've counted in the last 4.5 years. I've never dropped under 300,000 in income. Now Zoom is just ridiculous. Last month I was paid with my bonus $74,000, and I'm 29 years old. And last month I was in Cabo for 1 week. I was in Los Angeles. We had a hurricane come to Louisiana. So I was like, man, screw that. Let's evacuate to Los Angeles. And so I just bounced to Los Angeles, went to Los Angeles for a week. Everyone else was evacuating to Mississippi or Houston or somewhere 3 hours away, I was just like, screw it. Let me just jump on a plane to Los Angeles. Went to Los Angeles, traveled, took a helicopter tour around the city, got to go see everything, just have a blast, and then went to Cabo for a week, Atlanta for a week, and then I did 3 appointments last month and made 75 grand. But I never stopped leading. I never stopped doing interviews for people. I never stopped building my people. I never stopped teaching them the principles. And now one chapter of my life has just officially closed, Coach, by the way, wink, wink. So that's closed. That's done. And now the next chapter opens. I turned 30 in December 13th. And so now my 30s are going to be the best years of my life, because now I've committed to doing a 5-year run. So from January of 2021 to 2026, I'm just going to get back on. I'm going to give it everything I got. I'm smarter. I'm wiser. The system's better. Primerica's better. The people around me are better. My God is greater. And so it's just, there's no question. I'm able to give more money a month than most people make a year. I mean, I'm the biggest giver in the world. I love giving. My Waffle House average meal is $20 to $30, but my Waffle House tip is $70 to $80. I always 100% of the time, 100% of the time give. I love giving. That's what makes me excited. I got a video on my Instagram the other day, Coach, where I gave this lady like $70 on a tip. And she literally walked to the window, put her hand on the window like this, and just started pointing to me and pointing to God and started crying over a $70 tip. I've washed in my pants pocket $3,000 in cash one time. Came out like a big blob of green nasty paper. I've washed it, right? And I gave her $70, and that was the biggest. I mean, it just changed her mindset. And I'm like, man, why wouldn't people go build a giant dream? Because it's not about us. It's not about the money we make for us. It's about the money we can make to impact others. It's about the money we can make to give to our families, to people who can't. Like the Bible says, we give to the widows and the orphans who can't. And, it's like, I love knowing that because I wasn't a cop out, because I didn't settle, because I didn't get mine and then chill. It's like, bro, I'm single with no kids, 29 years old with $500,000 saved, I own properties galore, real estate galore. And it's like, I don't need the money, but I love the impact. I love changing lives. But I cannot do that if people don't miss. I can't impact people by myself. No matter how much personal I write, I cannot make enough to give that much. But more importantly, I can't have enough time to be able to invest myself in other people if I didn't have a team. So you got all the money in the world, but if you're tied up at work all the time, 24/7 working, you can't even be out and about giving to people anyway. Or you could be out and about all the time because you ain't got no team, but you ain't got no money to give to nobody, right? So I didn't just want to be the coach. I didn't just want to be the guy that was sending prayers. I want to send the checks with the prayers on the checks. And so that's why I believe that building a big team to live a big dream is important.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, it's been great watching your career, all the different stages of it, and being your teammate now and where you're going. I'm telling you, it's going to be so exciting, and looking forward to hanging out. We're going to have a good time out there in Colorado in a couple of weeks. Appreciate you being on. Thanks, Jake.
Can't wait, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care. All right.
Closing remarks for us, and then
Coach?
whenever you're wrapped up, we'll take it home and tell everybody who the rally winner is, and go over a few more things, and we'll close this bad boy out.
All right, let's do it. That was absolutely amazing, and Jake's got the energy. Some of you saw him up in Winston-Salem one time when he came through, but what an amazing story. And I mean, just it's so fulfilling just watching another guy that's out there building. He's going to be an SNSD and a blink $1 million earner, and doing it the right way. So again, Colorado, Keystone, look forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But a couple of things I was finishing up: have a big dream, a big vision, sell it big, and run that big video, the negative video. If I don't get this done, I got to tell mom or whoever it is, the kids, sorry, I didn't get it done, didn't make it happen. And I mean, how could you tell them, bring them around the table? I'm real sorry, I didn't do what was necessary to go make it happen. That's totally insane. You're not going to win every battle, and when you lose the battle, you need to remember the lesson. Don't lose the lesson, but understand the game is winning the war. And man, I'm telling you, what you do in the next 7 days is going to put you in position to win November, to finish this month off strong, and a great month for Primerica, maybe the greatest ever. Make sure you're one of those key players during this month and then set yourself up through Keystone 2021. I promise you, we're going to bring it. I promise you, I'm going to bring it. You make a decision that you're going to be a contributing member of that team. You're going to go get it done. This is going to be a year, and I'm telling you, it starts right now. You go get the job done to finish up November. That means you got to finish this week to have the week after to go finish the job. So appreciate what a great show tonight. Shake, what an amazing story he is. We'll hear more from him out in Colorado, and you guys go out there and fight. I'll give back to you guys, Wes and Rob.
All right. Thank you, Coach Andy.
That's absolutely amazing. And, the truth is about positivity. I've been real negative on my diet because I'm saying no to donuts and all that. I think I'm going to be a little bit more positive to donuts now.
Yeah.
It's all about positivity.
You got to find a balance. Everything in moderation, including moderation.
Trish, why don't you come on up?
Oh my, let's get a little deep here. Okay, so we had our two teams. We had Walter Charles Base Shop and the Belle de Rubio Base Shop. Walter Charles, you reported in with 85. You hit triple digits tonight. You hit 100 people reporting in. Belda, you reported with 125. You had 124 report in. So Belle de Rubio will be number 7. Is that
number 7? That's right.
Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7 tonight.
That's
as
good.
the rally winner. So you still got a little ways to go to get Walter, but it's getting there.
Hey, Walter's in triple digits now. I mean, we got ourselves a contest again. It looks like.
Good.
Yep.
So we've got Andy's complete system, how he built 22 RVPs since the IPO, more than anybody else in the rest of the company. We've got that on our website, getbigorgohome.com. You can go on there and see how he does the presentation, see how he does the follow-up, and then see that coach's philosophy, why he does what he does, how he does what he does. And you can see that, and it's not that complicated. It's very simple. The thing is he does it a lot. He talks to lots and lots of people, stupid.
Right.
So, I mean, that's how it is. So you got to get there and embrace the system. We've got the audios and the videos on there. So go ahead and check those out.
Right, absolutely. And it's based on Andy is not afraid of getting in front of lots and lots of people. The system will work with large numbers, but do not try to finesse it with 1Zs, 2Zs, 3Zs. It won't work for you.
No. So, all right. So with that, we know that Belda's the cup winner, right?
Yep.
Belda, you can hear us all the way over in Hawaii. I might have to shout for you to hear me, but send an email to tickets@nightglass.com. We'll go ahead and arrange for your Zoom with Andy, and when you get back in town, we'll get you the cup so that you can have those. And we'll need some pictures, right?
Absolutely.
I think we're still reusing the picture of you with 4 cups. We're up to 7 now.
Right.
So once we get that done, we'll appreciate it. And with that, guys, I mean, it's time to get big or go home. Halftime right now. Month end's coming. Do not lose momentum before we get through Thanksgiving and everything like that.
That's good. Hey, that was some deep philosophical
stuff
right there.
Don't quote me, but I think Mark Twain maybe said that. I don't know.
Listen, that's some.
Or maybe it was
everything in moderation.
Somebody,
including moderation. Listen, I'm writing it down. I'm telling my wife that. I like that.
I'm gonna look it up and we'll see who said it next week. But you got to tune in to find out.
Yeah, Sophocles probably.
It was the great philosopher Trick Daddy once said. All right.
It's actually Aristotle.
Aristotle?
Everything in moderation. Yeah, that's all right, guys. You don't need to know that to win at Primerica.
Well, I mean, I went to Ole Miss. You went to Wake Forest. I mean, I didn't take too many philosophy classes in engineering school. All right, Andy.
Great show, guys. Great show.
Thank you. All right, well, we're going to leave you with a little taste of what Keystone's going to be like. Like we said, we got 1 week. If the tickets, we're not selling them new anymore, but there's still some buy, sell, trading going on the Facebook page. If you go to the Facebook page and then go to our event, you'll be able to comment on the wall there. There's some people posting they need tickets, some people posting they got tickets. Put you all together, but that's only going to be for 1 more week because we got to cut it off because we want to know every person that's going to be there. Otherwise, registration is going to be a snafu when we're doing no contact because of COVID. So roll that footage.
doesn't matter what you think about in this business, it's all going to take you back to double-digit recruiting. You've got to have a game plan that's focused on growth.
Only in Keystone, baby! If you're not here, you're missing out.
Because if you get good at talking to people about Primerica, all the other things will follow.
That it wasn't about income, but it was about outcome.
What are you doing with this opportunity?
Y'all want more?
We decided
We want more! Hey everybody, the road to SNSD goes through Winston-Salem, but it makes a huge stop here in Keystone, Colorado. You cannot miss another trip. It is crucial for you to build a huge, huge business.
This is the place, this is the time, and you're the one.
What a time it is to be in Primerica, to be in this atmosphere, to listen to Gus and Johanna one-on-one, what you need to hear, what you need to know to build your business big.
Where else can you go and rub shoulders and pick the brains of multiple million-dollar earners and millionaires, learn how to come and build a business, leave a legacy behind for generations to come?
And where is that? Only in Keystone, baby!
This is a red car event. This is for the studs. This ain't for the GP, the general population.
It's great. You have to be around these people.
If you want to build a big team, you got to be in events like this.
SNSD Factory!